is a crisp fall morning, 45 degrees, on our way up to Club Motorsports. Beautiful track in New Hampshire, where I actually happen to be an instructor. Second month instructing there, helping the novices learn, be safe, and have fun. And we're on our way to do a endurance event. Not quite a race, because there's no wheel-to-wheel racing at this track, but there's an event where we're going to be seeing who can complete the most laps. All right, Enduro, here we go. This was a fantastic event put on by Club Motorsports. They really did a great job. I think this is the second year they've done this. It is not a wheel-to-wheel race, but is a slightly competitive HPDE format where we try to see who can get the most laps in a 4-hour stint with point buys and under certain circumstances or certain places on the track. And there were 10 teams that showed up. Teams had anywhere from 1 to 3 or 4 drivers. My particular team had 2 drivers, 2 of us. It was myself and another instructor, Evan, who's been instructing at this track for about a year now. He knows every bump, corner, and crevice of this track really well. And most awesomely, we got to drove my Miata that has been sitting in my garage for a year. If you've been following my channel, I've been renting a Miata this year, the past couple of races in SCCA, because I just had a baby earlier this summer. I missed the first 3 races, and essentially I wanted to see how I did in a better sorted car in a bigger field, a different class spec Miata. And so I've been renting, and therefore my Miata has just been sitting dormant and getting it prepared for this race. I actually started it a couple days before, and the battery was out cold, extremely dead. Could not even revive it with a charger. I was able to jump it with a jumper pack and then get the car started, idle it for 20 minutes. The car overheated, had some cooling issues, stopped the car, and then luckily it took a charge. Long story short, I got the car ready for this event, and it did amazing. It went the whole 4 hours. Enjoy some highlights from my driving, and maybe some of Evan's driving too, my co-driver, although I'm sure he'll post his own video at some point. Enjoy! Green flag. So this was an interesting experience for me because I'm not used to getting a green flag and not being able to go for a pass or get past. But obviously this is not a wheel-to-wheel race, it is an endurance event, and we need to be a bit more structured with our passing. I'm also hesitant because, again, first time driving my car in about a year, and I don't know quite what's going to happen with it, and first time in this car on this track, and I'm just a little bit timid. It always takes me a few laps to get in the groove, to sort out the cobwebs, brush off the dust or the rust, as they say. And so that's what's happening here. I have my competitor actually in Spec Miata behind me in his Spec Miata 20-ish plus more horsepower car on slicks, and he's also a quick driver. Hey Tim. So I let him by here because I know I'll be holding him up if I don't let him by, and I'm just getting a feel for the car. My car is a 1993 NA Miata 1.6 liter, and I dynoed it 2 years ago, and it was putting out a whopping 96 horsepower at the wheels. Crazy. But that made it even more fun because you can sort of just mash on the gas, and obviously you got to be precise with inputs, but you don't have to worry about power oversteer or putting too much power to the rear wheels and causing spin. As I said, there were 10 teams, 10 different cars. There were 4 Miatas, 2 or 3 Rushes, a Mustang, a Camaro, and maybe some other cars, but quite a variety. My co-driver Evan and I continued to beat each other on lap times. We each did 2 stints. I did the first and third, he did the second and last, and he got a faster time in his stint, and then I beat him in my third stint, and then finally he set the quickest time in the last stint. So I think if we kept going, we would have gotten quicker and quicker and quicker. I don't think we would have stopped getting quicker. I'm not going to show you all of my laps because there were probably about 50 of them, but I will show you my fastest. I set a 152.85. Far from perfect. I already know what I would do differently, things I would try, but for now, I think it's pretty good. And just for kicks, Evan, my co-driver, is a great driver. I want to show you his fastest lap, a 151.61 in my car. He had a great time in my car. He loved it. Here you go. And he doesn't like to wear gloves. He says he can feel the road better without gloves. I guess that makes sense. Well done, sir. Now you get to see my penalty on lap 2 or 3 or 4. Very early in the race, I was still timid, figuring out myself back in this car on this track, and more used to the SM tires, the Hoosiers, in my normal races, and overcooked, locked the tires here, went 2 wheels over the paint, which is an infraction, and you got to come in to the penalty box. That put us back probably a couple laps.
How's it going other than that?
Womp womp. It's fine, just getting
Hey, you got it out of the way early.
used to these tires and not the Hoosiers.
1 more minute, okay?